Bonsoir, welcome everyone. My name is Hillel Neuer, I'm the director of UN Watch. We're here right after the keynote speech that was delivered here in Lausanne, Switzerland by Philippe Lazzarini, the Commissioner General of UNRWA. He was invited to be the guest of honor at the National Day ceremony. This is the annual national holiday of Switzerland, and the mayor of Lausanne, Grégoire Junot, invited him. This was a very divisive decision. In Switzerland itself, in December, the lower house of parliament, the National Council, voted 3 times to defund UNRWA. And I testified in the Swiss parliament about this. So here in Switzerland, it is a very divisive issue, and many in Switzerland, including in the parliament, wanted to defund UNRWA. So the fact that the socialist mayor decided to invite the head of UNRWA at the National Day was a decision that was not meant to unite the people of Switzerland. It was meant to be divisive, and the mayor's speech was divisive, and sadly the speech of Lazzarini was also a very one-sided speech. So we decided to invite one of the most well-known victims of UNRWA. I'm going to give her the floor in a moment, Ayelet Samerano. She will tell you the story about her son, and she came from Israel, especially here in Lausanne, to protest. So I'd like to give the floor to Ayelet, and just to say that Ayelet was very courageous for being here and speaking out right in front of Mr. Lazzarini as he spoke. So Ayelet, please.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ayelet Samerano. I've come to Lausanne today to protest the head of UNRWA, Mr. Lazzarini. It was wrong for the mayor of Lausanne to invite him tonight as the speaker of honor. It is now 300 days since the horror of October 7, when my son was kidnapped by UNRWA employee. My son Jonathan was full of life, always smiling, always joking. He was the light in the lives of everyone who knew him, and people always thought his company and friendship. Many will say Jonathan is life and life is Jonathan. As you can see in the video that is online, on October 7th, an UNRWA employee entered Israel and actively participated in this massacre, brutally murdering and kidnapping my son's body with the United Nations car into Gaza. My personal tragedy was one of many crimes against humanity committed by UNRWA's employee. UNRWA is Hamas, and Hamas is UNRWA. They are one and the same. How can the noble United Nations be directly involved and turn a blind eye from the atrocities done by UNRWA's workers, Hamas, and its counterparts of October 7th? How can the United Nations ignore the facts pointing to massive use of UNRWA infrastructure by Hamas in favor of gaining terror tactical advantage, using schools, clinics, and hospitals for tunnel digging, storing weapons, ammunition, and explosives, deliberately using babies, children, and elderly as human shields? I'm not a politician nor an international lawyer that can answer any of the legal questions raised following the tragedy of October 7th. I'm just a mother who lost the most precious things in the world, my beloved son. But I know what is right. I hope and pray that you will never turn a blind eye to the plight of my Jonathan and the over 1,000 burned alive, raped, mutilated, and murdered on October 7th. The world wants to move on, but none of us in Israel can forget, so long as 115 hostages are still held in Gaza. Every night I scream in silence. Every morning I cry on my way to work. Every waking moment I think about my son. and they live like that through each day, over and over again. Can you imagine what is it like for a mother not to know what they did with her son? Are they keeping him? Will they ever give him back to me? The most basic wish for a mother is to kiss her son before saying goodbye forever. Thank you for listening. Thank you for knowing what is right and what is evil. Shut UNRWA down.
Thank you, Ayelet, and thank you again for your courage in coming here. You've been through the most horrific time, and the fact that you're coming here to speak out is very important. You know, I just want to add before closing that I wrote to Mr. Lazzarini to tell him that he's coming to Lausanne. He shouldn't have been invited, but if he is here, I asked to meet him. You know that UNRWA, on several occasions, they have told the media and told diplomats that they're upset with UN Watch because when we publish our reports, for example, this report, UNRWA's Telegram, which documents a Telegram chat group of over 3,000 members of UNRWA teachers who celebrated the atrocities of October 7th. When we published this report and others, the response of UNRWA was to tell diplomats that it's quite inappropriate and unfortunate and wrong that UN Watch doesn't call them beforehand, doesn't share our information before we publish it. So the truth is, and I was asked about this in the Dutch Parliament by a hostile member of their Foreign Aid Committee, why are we not sharing things with UNRWA in advance? And I told that Dutch member of Parliament, the truth is the very opposite. The truth is that on numerous occasions, and they're documented on our website. We have a webpage just documenting all the requests we've made. We have made numerous requests to Mr. Lazzarini to meet in person, to share evidence of pervasive terror ties, and I did it once again now. I asked Mr. Lazzarini to meet, and he refused to meet. The Swiss authorities approached me. They were afraid that I was going to approach him, and I said I just want to give him some documents. I wanted to give him this document. I wanted to give him another report, which I'll mention, and they said he doesn't want to receive your documents. He doesn't want to meet you. He doesn't want to approach you. You're not allowed to approach him. So I'm in a free country, Switzerland, but according to Mr. Lazzarini, I can't even approach him and hand him documents, and he refuses to meet. He talks always about engagement. There's a Swiss principle of engagement, dialogue. He refuses to engage with us, refuses to engage in dialogue. And you know, among the reports that we have, one of them is a report, this is a draft report that I was going to give him. We're going to publish it in a more final copy, and it shows how, in fact, UNRWA has contempt for the Colonna report, the report that said that UNRWA would have new systems to investigate and take care of neutrality violations, namely promotion of terrorism. In our new report, will come out in the next couple of weeks, will document in detail, and he's refused to receive it in advance, how the leaders of the teachers' unions, those in charge of thousands of teachers, are members of Hamas, senior members of Hamas, and we have the evidence, promoting terrorism almost every day. So he refuses to see the evidence. This is indicative of what UNRWA is doing. And today I'll just mention in addition, and we have more coming out, but we just published a video of an interview that we exclusively published of a student in the Jalazone school. That's in the West Bank. It's an UNRWA school. The student's name is Qutaiba Hatab. He lives in the Jalazone camp and is in an UNRWA boys' school that was paid for by the American government, funded by the American government. And he talks about, and there are videos published on our website, on our Twitter and social media. He says that what do they teach you in school about the right of return in UNRWA? He says to fight, to keep fighting until Palestine is liberated. He says, oh Allah, please kill them all. Do you hate the Jews? Of course, he says. Oh Allah, please kill them all. We want Palestine just for ourselves. With Allah's help, I'm quoting from an UNRWA student, exclusive video just published today. With Allah's help, we will return, and those Jews who are dogs, we will smash their heads. So this is a young student, and this is what he's learning at UNRWA. I wanted to present this evidence to Mr. Lazzarini. He refused to meet, refused to hear the evidence. So this is what we're facing. Once again, I want to thank Ayelet for coming here, and I urge donor states to hold him to account. He promised to endorse all of the recommendations of the Colonna report. Those recommendations talk about taking evidence of terror ties seriously. He's refusing to do it. He's showing contempt for the promises that he made, contempt for the donor states, and we urge all member states, if they care about fighting terrorism, if they believe in promoting peace and security, and to stop teaching generations of Palestinian students to embrace hatred, resentment, and war, then something has to change. And that is our appeal. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you.
Thank you.